The giraffe, undoubtedly the most graceful of gentle giants to roam the savannah. With their long legs, extended necks, lengthy lashes, and patterned hides, the species exudes elegance. Found daintily crossing the African grasslands or browsing on the leaves of a majestic acacia tree, their towering figures make for easy spotting. It is an image of serenity, but in reality, their peace and very existence is being threatened.
The silent extinction which the giraffes are facing, there's very little national, regional, or even global focus on the giraffes, unlike species like the elephants and rhinos. And nobody's talking about the threats the giraffes are facing.
One of the major dangers the species is encountering is habitat loss and fragmentation.
If you look at what's going on in different protected areas, there's a lot of pressure on land and there's a lot of demand on land and their habitats. So that fragmentation of giraffe habitats, makes them lose their core areas, quality forage, and that's, really key.
Giraffes are vital in keeping ecosystems in balance. Their unrivaled height allows them to browse areas that other animals are unable to reach, which promotes growth of forage and opens up areas for smaller browsers to make use of. As giraffes move from tree to tree, they distribute seeds and pollen across the landscape, giving them the ability to completely change habitats around them. Kenya is home to 3 types of giraffe. The reticulated giraffe, mainly found in northern Kenya, outside national parks and in community land, numbering at about 15,000. The Maasai giraffe, found in southern Kenya in areas such as the Nairobi National Park, Amboseli and the Masai Mara. Their numbers stand at about 11,700. And the Rothschild giraffe. With a population of only about 600, they are the most endangered. But once the Rothschild roamed in their thousands. The African Fund for Endangered Wildlife is among organizations working to save the species that's only found in Kenya.
We are involved in breeding the Rothschilds, and after every 2 to 3 years, we translocate most of the young ones back to the wild so that we can be able to increase the population of these type of giraffes.
The Rothschild giraffe is found only in small populations in western Kenya. At the Ruma National Park, these giraffes are given round-the-clock protection.
We need to create more space for these mega species so that our future generations might have a chance to see them.
And a community in Baringo County is striving to create that space, particularly for the Rothschild giraffe, which in turn has brought warring communities together in an area torn apart by ethnic fighting. Rebecca Chebet is one of the few women at the forefront, fighting for the survival of Rothschild giraffes. She explains how Ruko, a community conservancy in Baringo County, is protecting the giraffes while the community benefits from their existence.
When Ruko started in the year 2007, the conversation about how to start the conservancy, the community wanted to see something that could bond them as the Tuil, Chamus and the Pokot community. So when they went back to their history and the cultural background of where they came from, they realized that they used to have the giraffe in this landscape. So one of their obligation, or they decided to do as one of their #1 objective apart from peace building, was to bring back the Rothschild giraffe. So they went back to KWS and asked for permission to relocate the giraffe back home. So the KWS were very happy because this was the natural home for the giraffe. The community were very determined because they saw, even before we had the giraffe back here, in their logo, in the conservancy logo, they put the Rothschild giraffe there as a symbol of peace, with the 2 women milking it, such that this was a source of hope it was something that was going to transform the community.
But these efforts by the community to protect the Rothschild are being hampered by an environmental disaster. The fast-rising waters of Lake Baringo are putting the animal populations at Ruko Conservancy in danger.
Chakula ya giraffe sasa inaweza kuwa kidogo. Sasa tunajaribu kutafuta chakula ingine supplement kwa sababu kama hakuna chakula tutapoteza wanyama.
One giraffe found itself stuck in a valley when its path was cut off by the rising water. While climate change continues to affect giraffe populations, the gentle giants are also faced with another growing threat.
There are people poach giraffes for their skin, bone marrow, meats, skulls, different things depending on where you are.
In March 2020, poachers killed 2 giraffes, described as being hauntingly beautiful. They were the extremely rare all-white giraffes, believed to be the only ones in the world. The only female and her 7-month-old calf were brought down at the Ishakbini Hirola Community Conservancy in Ijara, Garissa County. Their white appearance that dazzled the world was due to a rare condition called leucism, which causes skin cells to have no pigmentation.
Our law enforcement officers have been investigating what could have been the motive of killing, but there have been high level of insecurity in that part of the country.
On June 14th this year, 4 suspects were arrested in Garissa County after they were found with giraffe remains and 150 kilos of giraffe meat. The suspects were believed to be part of a wider network of poachers who hunt wild animals for their meat that's later sold to butcheries in Garissa and neighbouring regions. And on December 4th, 2017, one of the most wanted giraffe poachers was arrested in El Nur Eldas constituency in Wajir County by Kenya Wildlife Service officers who had been trailing him for 12 months before the arrest.
You can imagine how dangerous this person is. He only uses 1 bullet to kill a whole giraffe.
To conserve the giraffe population in Wajir, the county administration had encouraged the formation of conservation organizations to combat local poaching, ecosystem conservation and managing wildlife habitat. Parliament had also passed the Wildlife Act of 2013, where suspects face heavier punishment for killing species that are listed as endangered in Kenya, like the giraffe.
The penalty is a maximum of 5 years, and you can even go, you can be fined between 3 to 5 million.
While it is illegal to kill giraffes in Kenya, it's not in other countries. Southern African nations allow trophy and sport hunting, another threat to their existence. But there are some laws that protect giraffes internationally.
Giraffes also cross borders. Particularly in Kenya, we have giraffes crossing Masai Mara, going into Serengeti. We have giraffe crossing Amboseli, going to Kilimanjaro National Park in Tanzania, from Savo to Mukomazi. So they cross the border.
But with many people having lost their livelihoods due to the coronavirus pandemic, the allure of easy prey in this gentle giant continues to attract poachers, and more needs to be done to protect them.
This COVID has really hit us hard. It's almost killed our tourism to almost 0 level. All our partners, particularly development partners, to come in aid of conservation.
We might lose the giraffes entirely as a species from this world in a few years if we don't change our perception towards conservation of these important species.
And giraffes are critical because without them, there would be a major imbalance in our ecosystem. And you too can play your part in conserving this beautiful species by helping to raise awareness and by visiting the parks. Smriti Vidyarthi, NTV.